specific questions which Savitri asks.
Yeah.
The first one is what name?
Yes.
Who are
fact, yeah. In fact, yeah.
first
let's
is
do
who
that,
are
yeah.
you?
Yeah. Who are you?
Who are you?
And very sharp, simple question.
Very sharp, simple questions. And what is your name?
And she also, I am Savitri, Princess of Madras.
Yes,
Who
sir.
are you? What is your name?
Name. Yes, sir.
Huh.
And then she asks, which is that what trunk of kings watered by fortunate streams has flowered at last upon one happy branch.
That is, of course, a metaphor.
Yes,
Now, yeah, okay. Then.
But this is the main question, sir. Why is thy dwelling in the pathless wood? This is the main question which she's asked.
Yes.
Far from the deeds thy glorious youth demands.
Yeah.
Haunt of the anchorites and earth's wilder broods, which means she directly implies that you, the way
why you are here in the forest.
Yes, your glorious youth should be there in the kingdoms or somewhere
That's
in
right.
the urban areas.
You look like a prince.
Yes, sir.
Then why you are dwelling here in the company of sannyasis and sages and munis?
You should be the action person, given your
Very
personality
true.
and this
That's
thing.
right. She's asking. I mean, she has already recognized a kind of a royal glow on his person.
Right, sir.
Which is there. He belongs to a kind of a Kshatriya caste, and that glow is there on his face.
Deeds thy glorious youth demands.
Yeah.
That's what she asks.
Before that, you see something very interesting.
Yes, sir.
At least this is what I was saying. Yes, I am Princess of Madras. She has asserted her dignity, power, purple grandeur, all that things.
Her royal lineage and all this.
I am Princess of Madras. Who art thou? She's questioning.
Yes,
Very brave girl. Who art thou? What name musical on earth expresses thee to men? Now, this is, to my mind, very romantic. Of course it is, but see, it's not very casual as well. What name musical on earth?
She's already acknowledging the fact that, let's say, the love has touched her.
That is the impatience of the love. See,
yes, sir.
The bug has bitten her already.
Yes, sir. So that she's already acknowledging that by saying
that
this.
is true. Yeah.
So that is her acknowledgement that.
No, but still she's asking. Obviously, but she's asking what name musical.
Yes, sir.
Which also means that name Satyavan has some kind of a musical quality in it. You see. Now, I don't know whether we recognize that or not.
Yes, sir.
Whether when she says musical name, now does it sound to you musical, Satyavan?
Satyavan sir sounds to me very sattvic, if you ask me, more than musical. I mean, my immediate, but that could be because of past impressions of names and all that. But it does sound very sattvic.
Very sattvic.
Yes, sir. The name per se. The purity and all that is the significant thing which comes to mind. Musical among names, sir, I would not immediately react to it in this fashion.
See, I think it is, she is kind of obsessed by the element of love, and therefore anything now connected with him is sweet, beautiful, joyous, happy, musical, harmonious.
So that is an acknowledgement of that fact.
Is it like that only, or is there really something musical in the name?
Now, if you have some Vedic perspective on this, I can't say. But,
I don't know. Satyavan. Maybe, you see.
So for that, first we need to clarify what could be a musical name. Any other examples which you can say are musical names? Like for that matter, I find Sri Aurobindo to be very musical. If you ask me if there could be musical
names. I was about to say that,
Sri Aurobindo is very musical for me, sir. And I would not know, let's say.
You see, let me say something like this. If you just repeat the name, Satyavan, 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 Satyavan. See, a kind of rhythm and music starts entering into it. If you simply say Satyavan, maybe not that. But if you repeat it constantly, maybe 108 times, then the whole link will appear like a music.
It has got 4 syllables, sir.
Satyavan. No, in the Sanskrit 4.
4.
In English only 3.
Yes, sir.
So from the point of view of poetry, It is only three English poetry.
Yes,
Satyavan.
So it'll be English, which will take as the way to speak the name, because there the thing changes.
Yeah, it's true.
It'll be Satyavan.
No. If I had to simply use this thing as a word, Satyavan alone, I will use it four times. Satyavan, 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 Satyavan. See, you feel some sort of a little. You tried yourself.
I'll have to do it maybe in a different mode and also. So I'll have to interiorize and do it, because I don't have a musical voice.
No,
so
it's
for
not,
shortly,
it's not musical. It is the name itself. You see, bits of the rhythm. You see.
But that way, sir, I am telling you, for me, the first impression is not of a musical name per se.
I know. You have a point.
Yes.
And if you go from the point of view of etymology and the substance content of the word, he is the carrier of truth.
Right, sir.
He is not the carrier of joy, love, beauty, music, harmony. It's not that. He is the carrier of truth, you see. Right. So that the word indicates the contents part of it, but the utterance has a certain musicality in it. See, the very fact.
Like, sir, the word Radha, that would be musical.
Yeah, it is.
Radha is.
Radha is definitely more musical than Krishna.
Yes, sir. Yes, sir.
It is true. Is it true or not? What you see is true. It is true. No, but here also, see, in some places he is using Satyavan. In Vyasa Savitri, in other places also, he is called Satyavrata.
Right, sir.
Now, Satyavrata and Satyavan, there is a difference in the quality of the sound between the two.
Yes, Satyavan is definitely more musical in that
sense.
So
from that point, definitely it becomes more musical than Satyavrata.
Yes.
You see. Yes. So somehow she is asking a very pertinent question: what name musically?
So
yes, and then again he says. She says here, the musical on earth. See, she is already talking of the whole creation of the earth. Now, why that dwelling, glorious you demand, haunt of anchorites, where, etc., then nature's green. See here this phrase, in nature's green unhuman lowliness. She is telling him, in this unhuman loneliness. See, this is the typical artistic aspect of Sri Aurobindo Savitri. Unhuman is not English.
Right, sir.
The word unhuman does not exist in the English language, in the dictionaries. You see, it can be inhuman, it can be subhuman, superhuman, whatever. But unhuman does not exist. But here, unhuman is absolutely significant. There is no human habitation, no human element at all present here, and it is devoid of all that would be associated with human. This is unhuman. So the poetic aspect, the artistic aspect, and how he can even introduce certain words.
Freedom of language, which
only the master can take that.
Yes, sir.
Only the master can take that.
Yes, sir.
In nature's green, unhuman loneliness, surrounded by enormous silences and a blind murmur of primeval calms. See, unhuman, the closest to that in the French, there's human, without human aspect, there's human. That is the closest to that thing. This human is a very good word also, but of course it cannot be used here. So the coinage is very sweet here, unhuman, you see. Then later on he says, and Satyavan replied to Savitri. She has made hardly how many 7, 8, 10 lines statement.
Yes, sir.
And then he will go and give some 20 lines.
Yes, sir.
20
but that's the case because Savitri is already under the spell of love.
Yes.
And here she clearly says, here the poet clearly notes, unwilling to break the charm.
Yes,
So
yes.
there's
Yeah.
it's an experience
Yeah.
we also have
Yeah,
had,
yeah,
that
yeah.
there is something, maybe
Yeah.
what is most basic is you eat something very sweet or something,
And then let it remain with
yes
you.
sir, let it remain that
Yeah.
charm,
That is true.
not to break that charm.
Yeah, yeah,
So she's just willing to let that charm continue.
yeah. That is true. Now we come to our Shalva. It is for the first time Shalva is introduced here.
Yes sir.
In 24. And Satyavan replied to Savitri. You see, he is answering point by point.
Yes sir. All the questions he answers. He's noted them.
He has noted down his memory and
1, 2, 3, 4,
systematically
5. Yes
he's
sir.
going to
Exactly sir.
give the answers. First thing he says, "Who art thou? Why then? Why etc. Trunk etc." Then he says, and Satyavan replied to Savitri, in days when yet his sight looked clear on life, King Dimutsina, once the Shalva, ran through all the tract which from behind these tops, passing his days of emerald delight, in trusting converse with the traveller winds, turns, looking back toward the southern heavens, and leans his flank upon the musing hills. So, you can imagine from this picture, this is the Shalva forest.
Yes sir.
Beyond that are the tall trees and mountains and all that. And beyond that is the Shalva land.
Forest.
Shalva land. Shalva kingdom.
But that is in the southern heaven, sir.
No.
Which means the Shalva kingdom has to be placed in the
on the
south.
northern side.
Here is there, sir, passing its turns, looking back towards the southern heavens. With the traveler winds, turns, looking back. Okay, sir, looking back towards the southern heavens, and leans its flank upon the musing
etc. Yeah.
Yes, sir. So which means hills would also be placed.
Yeah.
So you can say, let's say, the wind which looks back towards the southern heavens is where the kingdom is.
No. If you see from that kingdom, then on the southern side are these winds and mountains and this forest.
Okay, sir. Okay, sir.
My picture geography will be, this is the Shalva forest, this is the range of mountains or rivers of the forest and all that thing, and beyond that the Shalva kingdom.
Okay, sir.
So the Shalva kingdom is on the northern side.
Okay, sir.
And from there you are looking back into the southern part.
Okay, sir. Right, sir.
I mean, that is the kind of
right, sir.
Geography.
Specific this thing is there, sir.
Huh?
It's a very specific.
Does it appeal or?
Yes, sir. We'll just see it in detail later on, sir.
Later,
yes, sir. But let's just go with this.
Yeah. So the geographically, if you want to say if this is our Shalva land, then the Shalva kingdom is on this side.
Right, sir.
On this side, and we are looking then on the southern side here.
Right, sir.
And then he says, so he was the king. Then he said, but equal fate removed her from her covering hand.
Yes, sir. So we have now, there are, this you can contrast.
Yeah.
Here, Satyavan mentions fate as equal fate.
Yeah.
In the context of his father losing his eyesight and all, and losing the kingdom.
Yeah.
And Savitri's mother, she calls it a partial fate.
Yeah.
In the book of fate.
Yeah.
For having given her this particular fate.
Yeah.
Marrying Satyavan and all that.
Yeah, that's all right. Yes, no, but you see here in the context particularly, he says, all right, he was a king, he had royalty at his command and all that. Means by fate he was a king. By fate, equal fate, he has now become a forest dweller, an anxiety. Yes, equal fate. Now this equal fate, we have say, 102.13.
Yes, I got it, sir.
He says, out of the ignorant, eager toil of the years, abandoning man's loud drama, he had come, led by the wisdom of an adverse fate.
So wisdom of an adverse fate equals to equal fate.
Yeah.
Yes, sir.
So that relationship
Yes,
is there.
Yes, sir.
That wisdom of the adverse
Yes,
fate and equal fate.
Yes, sir. So that was a purposeful meeting with the ancient mother.
But of course, this led by wisdom of an adverse fate.
Yes, sir. Basically, he had to meet the ancient mother.
No, that is another matter. Yes, that is another aspect. That is our interpretation. But yes, in the narrative of the story, this adverse fate is a poet's comment.
Right, sir. Earlier is a poet's comment.
This is here it is Satyavan himself speaking that. Yes, yeah, that's right.
So himself he holds nothing against fate.
No, yeah,
yes, sir.
Yeah, that's right. Yeah. All right, I was like that. I am like that.
Yes, sir.
Equal fate.
Yes, sir.
Means what it means that I am perhaps equally fortunate that I am here.
Right, sir.
And perhaps he is more fortunate to be here.
Exactly, sir. In his own mind, he's quite clear.
Yeah.
He doesn't hold any grudge against being in
No, not only that, it means also that he is going to be more fortunate here than perhaps in the palace.
Yes, sir. Otherwise, from the normal perspective, he should perceive himself as a victim of fate.
Yeah, victim of fate, or even not I met Savitri.
Yes, sir. Yes, sir.
In that sense.
So he'll come to appreciate it more. So
exactly.
This one maybe he'll say rather than equal, he will say fortunate fate.
Yeah, that's right. Yeah,
yes, sir.
Yeah. He has to say that, you see.
Yes, sir.
Great nature came to her recovered child. I reigned the kingdom of nobler kind than men can build upon Talmaha's soil. I met the frankness of the primal earth. I enjoyed the intimacy of infant God. See, that is the whole idea of his association with nature, and how he was educated, how he was brought up, how he acquired the spiritual knowledge, and what kind of spiritual relations he had. So that is what he is now sort of narrating, you see.
His siddhis of perceiving the subtle spirit behind things.
Yeah,
is also part of.
Yes. In fact, the whole description is now about
yes,
this sort of thing, you see. Then he says here, I caught for some eternal eye. 36.
Yes, sir.
First line. I caught for some eternal eye the sudden kingfisher flashing to a darkling pool. So the minuteness with which he is observing nature. For the eternal eye, sees the darkling pool, which is in the dark, which is becoming dark also, which is in the shady place. In that shady place, I see that a sudden kingfisher comes and catches the fish. Now, normally one is not able to see that thing of him, but I am able to catch it. I am able to catch it for what? For the eternal eye. Means here that sight has opened out the whole thing. A very beautiful, very lyrical description. Then of course, swan and all those things are there, and mountains and trees stood there like thoughts from God, you see.